Hello and welcome to Inside Tulsa Basketball with head coach Angie Nelp of women's basketball. And coach, you're off to a great start. And let's kind of talk about a thumbnail for the first 7 games, and then we'll get into the Lindenwood game from yesterday, from Sunday. So how about those first 7 games?
Yeah, absolutely. So proud of our team and the way that we're competing this year. You know, we've been able to have some games here at home and been able to go on the road and be able to be in neutral sites. And so just really proud of the teamwork and toughness that we've shown in every single one of those games.
And before the Lindenwood game, you had a tough game on the road against Duquesne, and that was this past week. And you really showed the intestinal fortitude of the team because you had the 20-point lead, and then they shaved it down to 1 at one point.
They did. You know, in the fourth quarter there, we got tested a little bit, but really proud of our team and the adversity that they fought through on the road. You know, there's one thing that I think about that game is just the togetherness that we showed. You know, there was a moment in the fourth quarter where they were making a pretty big run at us, and we were able to just stand our ground and then go ahead and follow through with the win.
Coach, if there's one thing here in year 2 for you that you really like, that is kind of advancement of the program, so to speak, what would it be?
Yeah, I really love how we're living our culture of love, trust, and work. You know, we have some returners that have come back that have a year under their belt of knowing the expectations within the culture and the foundation that we're building, and then being able to step on the floor and be able to implement those principles of love, trust, and work on the court. It's been amazing to see the growth in the newcomers that have come aboard and been able to see the leadership in our returners.
Yeah, and you're talking about some of the veterans, you know, a Maddie Biddle, even a Jessica Evans, other players that have been with you before, but then you meld in 7 new players, and that seems to have gone pretty well.
Yeah, it is. You know, they're getting along great. We have a team that really loves each other and cares about each other so much, and you can see that on the floor, how they really do play for each other, how they celebrate each other, how they find maybe that next open pass to get somebody else's shot. And so just really proud of the way that they've gelled together over the summer and the fall. It's not always easy with newcomers and returners blending them, but we have just such great people in our program that it's been really fun.
And of course, we love the way you push it up. I mean, you get across half court here and you guys are off to the races, and you continue to do that. You always want to push the pace.
We do. We have great tempo when we play, and if we're getting late into the shot clock, it's probably pretty unusual for us to get late into the shot clock, but we love our free open style of play. We love to play fast. That's one thing offensively this team is doing so incredibly well, is they're pushing the tempo, whether we're seeing man, whether we're seeing zone, whatever we're seeing, the ability that they have to keep the pace of the game up tempo has been really good.
And that's been a real positive, and what I think maybe is unsaid is how you're playing better defense than you did a year ago. Your numbers are better, averaging 59, allowing only 59 or less than that after the Lindenwood game, and the percentage down as well. Your defensive percentage has moved down inside 40, so that's good.
It has. I'm glad you quoted all those numbers, Bruce. I'm really impressed with all of them. But yes, we've worked really hard on our defense this year too, and being able to get key stops when we needed key stops in some of those closer games was a real advantage for us. But we take a lot of pride on that end of the floor. Sometimes when you come watch us play, because we play so fast, you think we're really offensive focused, but we're really a balanced team to be able to play on both ends of the floor, and we've had to work really hard on the defensive end of the floor to be where we are. And sometimes, you know, in some of these games, it may be easy to let up for a possession or two, but that's not our team. Our team has so much fight, and our team has no quit. It's kind of gotten us in foul trouble sometimes a little bit, you know, being too aggressive in those situations, and we've got to be a little bit more disciplined in those areas. But I love how hard we're playing on the defensive end of the floor.
Young players that have stepped forward for you. You mentioned, of course, 7 new ones, but maybe give us an idea on a couple of the younger players you've really been impressed with.
Yeah, well, Ray Young, first of all, coming in, making such a huge immediate impact within our program, not just what you guys see on the court, but definitely, you know, in practices and her competitiveness and her drive. You look at Cambridge Matthews, you know, Cam coming in, maybe when we have had an incomplete roster, being able to give us quality minutes. You look at Caroline Lyles coming in, hitting a couple threes last night in the game. And so each one of our freshmen, they contribute things differently, you know, and they contribute a lot in their own way. And so just really, it's been really fun to kind of see them mold together as a group and see them mold into our team too.
And as we continue to evolve here on Inside Tulsa Basketball with Angie Nelp, of course we'll be talking about week in and week out and the games and that sort of thing. But this being the first show, we kind of had to talk about 8 games. But the last game was Lindenwood, and you were concerned about, you know, having the big lead and not able to hold it that well against Duquesne. didn't let that happen against Lindenwood. You had the 20-point halftime lead and just continue to plow forward.
We did. Super proud of the team and the way that they were able to play in that game. You know, sometimes you can look at the score and it looks like it was easy. It was not easy. Lindenwood is a good program and they're well coached, and they do some different things offensively that caused us a little bit of trouble, you know, defensively within our help side rotations. But I was really proud of the way that we kept pushing and kept pushing and kept pushing. And we got to go into our bench, you know, and we had a lot of people, a lot of different lineups on the floor that mixed up some rotations, and that was really great experience for our team, and it had great chemistry, and we were able to keep moving forward.
And so now you're 6-2. Tell us about the week coming up for TU women's basketball.
Yeah, so the week coming up is going to be, you know, a challenging week, but we're excited that we get to be home. You know, we've been in a tournament out in California and then going up to Pennsylvania to play Duquesne. It is so nice to be back in the Reynolds Center with all the support that we have here and all the energy that our fans bring us, and to be at our own rims, and those things are always really good. So we've got a game coming up this Thursday. It's an elementary school game, and so I'm sure everybody loves Baby Shark, right? We can hear that maybe 100 times in the game. So get your breakfast, get your coffee, come on out Thursday. That's going to be at 11 a.m. But those kinds of games can be tougher games because you're not on your usual schedule and you're not on your usual routine. Everything's kind of pushed up to an earlier schedule. So we've got a couple days prep ahead of us where we'll be able to hopefully get on that early schedule.
Boy, it'll be a great atmosphere too with the youngsters here making lots of noise. And Angie says that if you're a business person or you got your regular work day, you can take 2 or 3 hours off in the middle of the day.
I give full permission for that. We'll write your note. We'll write a note to your boss. We'll do whatever it takes for y'all to get out here and support us.
So come on out on Thursday. During the day, there should be a great time. Coach, thank you so much for your time, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you.
And that is Inside Tulsa Basketball with head women's basketball coach Angie Nelp.